Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hi Lori. Hi. I'm having trouble with these. I'm good, Lori. How are you? Hi Joni. Trouble with these. I'm good, Lori. How are you? I can't see my comments at all on my computer, but the good thing is on my iPad, I don't have the captions, which is wonderful. Hi Sandy. So we'll give a few minutes for people to get logged in. How's your weather there, folks? We've had a pretty bizarre day today, weather-wise, that is. Hi, Dylan. Darlene. I'm drinking my tea already. Turn this, that down a little. There we go. All these pop-ups coming up on Facebook. It's a real pain. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Irene. Yeah, today it started out with a little bit of sun, and then it went dreary, and then it started raining, and then we had a snowstorm, and so we've had all kinds of weird weather today. I'm doing fine, and thanks for asking. Hi, Linda. I'm going to wait another few seconds because this little micro mini album is just adorable. Um, and it's not going to take very long to make, but I have a couple of other things that I wanted to show you guys first anyway. So we'll give everyone a few minutes to sign in. These here are designed really to be attached to a gift or to hang on your tree. Now mine is super thick; it's too thick. So I'm going to go through that with you and show you what to do a little differently. Starting to feel better, Linda. I'm about 40%, I guess, now. So able to move around anyway, and that's a good thing. Was at the store this week. I'll be at the store all next week, provided everything continues to keep moving in the right direction. I still have more tests and stuff to have done, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm almost finished this round of antibiotics, so that will be the true test is when these antibiotics are finished. So, if I think everybody wants to make one of these little guys, they are adorable. Now, the other thing I did, this ribbon is too round. Um, but remember that this is my little mock-up one, but I don't like the way it's sitting here because of it being too wide. But it's going to take like 15 minutes for us to do this little guy up. But I'm going to give you a couple of different hints and tips when we do it. And also, mine is magnetized. So this pulls out on this side. I actually used the Nutcracker suite from Graphic 45. I used the 8x8 pad because the print is small enough, the pattern is small enough on it for something like this. So this is actually the little Nutcracker suite, the Mouse King, Sugar Plum Fairy, and Mother Ginger across this way. And then on the back, I just have a variety of paper. And if you listen, I don't know if you can hear, but I have put magnets into, there we go. I love the sound. Now, I did the same thing on this side. However, that is what has made it too thick. So I'm going to show you, because I've put magnets on both sides, it's made it a little bulky here. I mean, I could squish it down, but I think it's better if I don't do the same thing on this side. So I'm thinking of doing something like this that pulls up this way and just ties with a little bow. Or, you know, magnets can go here because then they're not in the exact same place, you know, all the way through. And this is less paper than there is on this side. So I'll show you a couple of options on that. But before we get started on this, I wanted to show you guys, I finally finished this 49 and Market album, and it is in the store now. It's the in the Leaves. Now, with this album, you also get, sorry, I'm going to slide that up a bit. You also get a 2-page layout to do with it. And yes, sir? What do you want? This 2-page layout is really, really pretty. So it's got some of the papers cut out. So there's enough in your kit to do these 2 pages as well. So pretty. This got little like bread tags on there. You get all your twine with it, and this roping is really nice. It's all braided, so it's quite pretty. It's just not like your normal cording. And then this is the album, and this album is gorgeous. So you have these clips, which are like paper clips, but they're words. I'm going to glue that on so it doesn't slide off on me. But that's on the front. The front has all been done up. This is your first 2 pages on the inside. Then this opens up this way. Just beautiful. This paper line did really well. We sold out of the paper line, but we now have these kits in the store. You also get all of these little, they're like enamel dots, but they are like screws, and they actually look like there's screws on here. Really, really pretty. So if you are interested in this, I would grab it sooner than later. This side's got a pocket, and I've just tucked pieces in there with a piece along the bottom here cut out. Flip that over. Then we've got these pages here. Again, these are part of a package that you get in with the kit. And then we've got this page all done. Just beautiful. And you get a whole pack of these 3x4 frames. So you actually, the kit calls for like a third of a pack of this and a half a pack of something else. And I included, I just put the whole packages in for the same price. And that will give you enough to do other projects with it. So you will get quite a bit with it. It's almost $100. I think it's like $90, somewhere in around there. But you're doing the 2 pages and this full album and all the extras left over. And then you have these 2 pages here. And then this is what I was talking about. There's an extra one of these so that you can use them on another album as well. And then I've got pieces tucked in here. This is probably my favorite one so far of 49 and Market, just because of the different elements. And, you know, I really do like the fall papers and the fall colors. So this is called In the Leaves. It's 49 and Market, and it's the album kit. And again, you get to do the 2 pages with it as well. And I'm working on one more 49 and Market album, and then we are all caught up until, of course, they come out with new releases in January. The other thing I wanted to show you, and oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this. This is called this is by Waffle Flower. And this is the mini stencil mat. There's also a larger one. I'm waiting for the larger ones to come in as well. Mind you, this one I find is quite big. This is like rubber. And it doesn't stick so well on this, but on my table it holds in place quite nicely. Let me just put it there. And what this does, this is a game changer, especially for me with doing all of these stencils, is that you put your pencil, actually your paper, sorry, I'm just trying to line these up so I know, stencil one. I'm just going to show you. So, for instance, if you're doing the Pink Fresh stencils, you would line your paper up in the corners here, And you know how all the stencils are marked stencil 1, stencil 2, and you got to line up those little marks on the stencils. I don't even know if you can see it on there. It's like a little L shape. And so you got to line it up on your paper and make sure it's in the right spot. You don't have to do this anymore. This holds your stencil in place for you. So you don't have to tape it down. You don't have to put pixie spray on the back. So I would do my stencil 1, lift that off. This isn't lying flat, obviously, because I have expand paste on here. And so it's not letting it sit, my paper sit flat, but I just wanted to show you this. So then my next stencil, I don't have to worry about finding the spot and lining it up again. I just take my next stencil and I just drop it on there. Whoops, that one's upside down. Drop it on there. This is number 5, but I'm just showing you. It will always be in the right spot. And it's going to hold your paper. It's going to hold your stencil. Boom, boom, boom. Move that one out. You know, if you take it off and you put it back, it's still going to line up in the exact same spot for you. So you don't, it's a lot less work. You don't have as much stuff to worry about. And then stencil number 3 and so on. These are in the online store now. They are really reasonable. They're under $20. But it's going to be a game changer for you if you are into all of our Pink Fresh, well, any of the stencils, but I mean, the Pink Fresh is the one that comes to mind for me because that's the one I have the most of. So anyway, it's by Waffle Flower, comes in this little bag. It's all rubber. You can also use it, you know, this way. You can have something sitting this way and, you know, put some ink or whatever on this side if you need to. It'll clean up nicely for you. And then it's got this bag, you just put it in. And because it's rubber, it wants to stick to everything. Dan's like, why aren't you putting it back in the bag? Because it'll keep it fresh. There we go. Because I'm weird? Is that what you just said? Yeah. Nope, it's not a salad. It's a waffle flower. So that's all I wanted to show you before we get started. But these are great. And this is a great gift to give to a friend. They are just brand new out, just released. So chances are your friend doesn't have one yet. So just letting you know that. Okay, so our little micro mini cute itsy bitsy little album are great for putting on the tree. As I said, you're not going to want to make it this thick. Or attaching it to a gift bag and giving it to someone, and they can put a couple of little photos in there. You know, just your usual kind of stuff. I thought it was nice to put one on, you know, at the Christmas dinner table even. And really, you know, you're using up your scraps of your chipboard that you have kicking around. And so I just cut out a bunch of them. Now, the other thing I thought about, if I did really want to go this thick, this spine is a 1/2 inch. I could do a wider spine. This is a 1-inch spine. But really, you know, Heather got a little carried away because it was so cute and it was so fun to do. But it is supposed to be a little thing, not such a big thing like I have made it here. So all that you need are 2 pieces of 2x3 chipboard and a spine that, oh, see, that just came off my album. That's why I want to stick it down. You need this little piece here, which is a 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And that is going to be your base of your album. You're then going to take a piece of cardstock that is 4x6. And that is going to be covering our little mini album. So I do need another tape here. I like to put a thin strip. Bear with me for a second. I just got to get one more tape out. This one. So I am going to stick these down to this 4x6 piece. You guys have any questions? Just I'm watching, and I think Dan's watching for me as well. So I want to try and keep my distance the same all the way around. We're still working on getting these plexiglass pieces cut for us. Dan's got feelers out with somebody who is, I think, going to be able to do it. We're just waiting for some pricing. Just so that it's even. It's nicer if it's even. When I did mine, I ended up with so much paper left on one side, not enough on the other, and it's just nice to be able to have it, you know, even though we're folding all that in, it's nice to have it cover nicely. Okay, so did you all get that? We've got 2 by 3 and a 1/2 inch by 3 inch. So I am going to, hi Kelly. Yeah, you could put it in the bag or you can attach it onto the bag. I'm going to show you how to attach, you know, a brad here and put a string through. So let me just get some glue on here. This is just a small little quickie. I'm not going to put score tape and glue. I'm just going to do it this way. And I'm just going to, as long as I get that first one in place, I should be good for the rest. There we go. And I'm just going to put a little piece of tape in between just so I can get my spacing right on both sides. And so what I'm doing is I'm just this thin tape right here, like that. And then I'm going to put the spine on there, and I'm going to stay with that 1/2 inch spine. If I was doing the 1 inch, I would add a 1/2 inch on each end of here. So I would make this 4 by 7 or even 4 by 6.5, and then just do 3/4 on each end. That gets folded over anyway, but you want to have enough if you make if you make the spine a little bit wider. I'm going to put this one down. There we go. Just want to seal that nicely. Flip it back, and I'm going to put another piece of tape. I'm cutting in and out, Dale. I wondered. The weather isn't good out there, so yeah, I mean, you can watch it later. Definitely. There we go. Another piece of tape there. And then I'm going to add this last piece. Glue that down. And rather than have you guys watch me do all the paper cutting, with this being just such a small little album, I just did everything in advance. So I just want to make sure I'm even there. Okay. So tiny. So cute. All right. So now, just like our regular albums, we're just going to miter those corners so we can fold it over. And there. And where's my bone folder? There it is. I'm just going to take this tape off now because it just gave me the spacing that I wanted. You can move the video back. Oh, yes, that's right, Jennifer, you can. You can move the video back and then you avoid all that cutting in and out. Oh, yes, that's right, Jennifer. Okay. Now I'm going to put some more glue. Go back and then you avoid all that cutting in. I need a sip of tea first. I'm going to fold this up and take my bone folder and just give myself a really nice crease there on all sides. And take my bone fold nice crease there. This is probably going to be one of the shortest videos I'm ever doing. Hello, Janet Santolini. Gay. Everybody's watching tonight. Okay, so in order to allow that paper to fold around nicely, you guys know I just run a bead of glue along there to soften up that paper. And then I do that little push with the bone folder again. And then I fold my paper over. Give a second for that glue to hold. Hi, Tracy. I'm just seeing everybody checking in here. There we go. Yeah, this bone folder, you know, it's a game changer, ladies, for the Teflon bone folder. You know, put it on your Christmas list for sure. While you're at it, put Lucy 4 on your Christmas list. We still have some space available. Oh my gosh, the stuff that has come in for the mixed media class. Oy vey. You guys are you're gonna have fun with it. So if you haven't signed up yet, put that on your list for your family. So, you know, they can't say they don't know what to get you. We could give them lots of hints. And I'm sorry about missing Sunday night. We had a little party for Megan's Olivia. We had a doodlebug cake for her. And we had a little birthday party for her. And it finished up a little later than we thought it would. And then after all was said and done, I wasn't feeling the best. So we thought it best not to try and rush through it, but to leave it for another night. And right now, you know, we're slowing down with what we're purchasing because come January again, it's when all the new releases start coming out again. But right now, I mean, we've still got a lot of new stuff and we still have product coming in, but it does slow down for the month of December. And then January, I'm hoping to start classes in the store in January as well. We're going to, we've been working at cleaning up. Watching from a weekend crop, but it's not the, oh, you're at a weekend crop now. It's not here. Not at my place. Okay. And just folding that last side over. It does take a minute for that art glitter glue to grab, but when it does a perfect job. There we go. So that is, look how adorable that is. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so the next piece that you want to put in, that's not the piece, I have it cut already. This piece is 2 7/8 by 4 3/4, and that's going to be for the inside of your album here. So I'm going to put my glue on. Oh, I know where you are, Gay. Yeah, you don't have meals or anything there. You have to come here where everything is done for you, and we're permanently set up for scrapbooking. Okay, I think this paper seems to be just a little bit big. Gotta go right to the edge. you know what? I need to just trim a little tiny bit off of this one. For some reason, it may have been my measurements, because when I did it before, the measurement was perfect. I just want to take a little piece off. I don't like the way that's sitting, and I will re-glue this. And put that down. Okay, and I'm just going to fold it, my creases there, and be careful when you're doing this. Don't use the pointy end of your bone folder. Still off of it. There we go. Just want to really make sure that's stuck down well. There we go. Nope, it still wants to shift on me. A little crooked, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it, because that's all going to get covered. Okay, so now the inside is done, the outside is done. Now I can put a hole in here now, or wait and put a piece of paper down there. You know what? I'm going to put the paper down now. So I need a little 1/2 inch by 3 inch. Actually, it's going to be less than a 1/2 inch, because the spine is 1/2 inch. Let me just see here. So I need a little 1/2 inch. Actually, it's going to be less than 1/2 inch. Let me just see here. Yeah, we trying to get you guys to come here for your retreats. We've been doing it a long time, 15 years. So I did this piece, 1/2 inch by 3 inches. I'm going to put it in there now, because I want to be able to show you. I'm going to put a little brad in there and put a hole in. And I know what papers I'm using, so that's why I'm going to do this. So I want to be sure to show you that. So I'm going to put the paper down, and that will remind me. Papers I'm using, so there we go. So that's the little spine on the inside. Okay, so on this side here, I want to do this little accordion section like this. And again, I used magnets to hold it in place. Now, you don't need to use the magnets. You can just run ribbon around and tie it in a bow if you like. But what you're going to need is a piece that is 5 3/4 by 9 3/8. You are then going to score it at 1 7/8, 3 3/4, 5 5/8, and 7 1/2. All right. After you have scored that way, you're going to turn it. And actually, I don't need to score it. I'm just going to cut it. Turn it and cut it at stuck on there. At 2 7/8. So you're cutting it in half. Okay. This is the only other cutting I need to do. So 2 7/8. And I now have these cut in perfectly in half. Now I can score them and burnish them really well. Keep them all lined up here. We all good still? Depends on what you're after, Gay. Some people like it to be a weekend that they don't have to worry about anything. So I would say you get what you pay for, right? So if you don't want to be pampered, then that's the route to go. But if you want to sleep, good beds, have good meals, and not worry about anything, then we are the route to go. But everybody is different as to what they like and prefer. I just know that you know, we've been doing it a long time, and it is a different experience for sure. Okay, and we're cheaper than the States as well. You know, if you go to the States to do retreats there, it's a little more costly. But again, it's whatever, you know, if that's the kind that you prefer, then that's the kind you prefer. But as I said, we have customers that like to be pampered and not worry about anything. Okay, so we want to now join these two pieces together. Um, yeah, so let's just join them. So we're making one long accordion now. Okay, so now I've got this, I've got to actually fold it back and forth this way. And now because I'm doing it that way, I seem to be off a little bit. So I just want to straighten these out. Really weird how, you know, the one way they are perfectly even, and then the other way they have a little bit of a, see how they've shifted a little bit. So I just want to try line them up. There we go. I know where it is. It's where they are joined. Just thinking that maybe I should have trimmed that down a little bit, but you know what? It's fine like that. I'm just going to give it a squeeze. And this is where the bone folder comes in really handy, is just trying to line those up. See how it's off a little bit on here? My first one didn't do that, and I'm wondering if it's just because of where I joined the two together. That seems to be the issue right there. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should have trimmed that down a little bit. But we're going to, because then it kind of offset everything. I'm sorry, I'm really being finicky with this, but anyway, that's the way I'm going to leave it. Okay, so when you're doing yours, just make sure that is all lined up nicely. And I would trim a little bit where you've joined the two together so it doesn't overlap. It's the overlapping that created a little bit of a problem. And now I want to stick this down this way. So I'm going to glue that piece down, and then I've got this accordion pleat on this side. So let's do that. And we will stick that down on there. It's a little bit of one of those nights for me tonight as well. I, you know, was bringing my dinner up to the craft room to eat, dropped the knife that I already had my pisanha on the knife onto the carpet. So I left it there because I couldn't bend to get it, and brought my stuff into my craft room, went to put my milk down and spilled my milk everywhere, all over the floor, all up my legs, on my table, everywhere. So I spent 10 minutes cleaning all that up. Because it, like I said, it was everywhere. And my table is glass, so then it was marked all over my table. I still don't like the way that's sitting, ladies. It's driving me nuts. So I'm going to redo my section, but I want to leave it like this so I can show you guys now how I did the magnets. So if you want magnets, then this is how you're going to have to put a magnet there, and then another one there, and so on. I think I used 5 magnets total. We'll put the first one is there, one there, just trying to figure out how to space them out. So if I put one there, hold on now, let me just put a piece of tape on the top of it. I'm going to put it in like I'm going to use this piece, but I need to redo it because it's driving me just a little batty. See, everything tonight is sticking, dropping, ripping. You ever have one of those nights? Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dan. Yes, that's the post for our retreat, ladies. Really, if you know, we cover everything. 2 nights accommodation, dinner on Friday, 3 meals Saturday, brunch on Sunday, all your snacks, all your beverages, beautiful studio to work in, nice comfy bedrooms to sleep in. We have you covered. And like I said, you can go to, you know, rec centers, church halls, all of these places, but you're not going to have the same, I guarantee you're not going to have the same experience that you have when you come here. Just saying. All right. Just saying. So, if I want to put that magnet like that, see, it's clicking onto this magnet here, which is great. So I don't have to do it on every page. Whoops. Stick it back there. Like that. And now I'm going to stick another one there. See? They're just holding. Are we all good with this, ladies? Oh, thanks, Wendy. Yeah, no, it's just, you know, when everything goes wrong, like, look, my tape is not sticking properly. But as I said, I'm going to redo this section because I just don't like the way it's sitting. And you guys know, normally when you accordion pleat, it's all lined up and there's not an issue, but for whatever reason, tonight there's an issue for me. Okay, so if I stick that one there, I'm going to need to put one right there to hold that lid closed. Like that, see? So let me do this one first. Put that down. So just space the magnets out however you feel. These are our magnets. They are the unique magnets. They are cheaper than the tonic magnets. And now I lost, see? Now I lost that magnet that I had on here. So we'll just put another one there. And put my tape. Whoops. Oh my goodness. And there we go. All right. So that side is done. So now with the magnets, it just clicks out, clicks out, clicks out. Something didn't stick down right. 1, 2. Oh, that's good. There we go. I think that's the one I was looking for, but anyway, so it's all stuck in there and the magnets are holding it in place for us. Again, you can see how much this is off. So I will redo that. Now, as I was saying, for the other side, you do not want to do magnets. Now I've got magnets stuck everywhere. You don't want to do magnets on this side, and you don't want to do it as thick as this. So what you can do is you can, instead of doing a double like this, that we did on this side, you could do a single pull out on here using the same measurements, just don't join two together, and do a single pull out. You can do magnets or you can put ribbon and just tie it. Now, what I also thought to do, and this is what I was showing you, is I cut this piece. So I will put a ribbon there. Just fold this one up. I'm going to put a ribbon. I'm going to glue that down, put a ribbon, and then glue this piece down on here and then fold it like this. So it's smaller. So you see now how small that is? So much better than how thick how thick I made mine, but it was so fun. But you also don't want to waste paper if it's going to be too big. So if you want to cut it like this, let me tell you what the measurements are. This piece is, oops, sorry girls. If you want to do it so that, you know, like I said, it's pulling down or it's pulling up, just to give it a different direction, then this piece is, you know what, let me get my big ruler. Do it this way. Magnets. This piece is 11¼ inches long by 1 7/8 wide. Okay, and then I scored it at 2 3/4. 2 and what is that? 6/8. Yes. Okay, Glimmer machines will be in next week. I know a bunch of you are asking about it. And then I also scored it at 5 5/8 and 8½. Okay, so I did 3 score lines, folded it like this, and now this can go onto this side. So I can stick that down. I haven't picked ribbon yet, so I'm not going to stick it down. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can just take a little piece of paper, make a little pocket, and then stick some little things inside there if you like. And then I just used printed paper on the outside. Now, your pieces of printed paper, and what I liked, again, about the Nutcracker Suite is that I have this little storybook here, you know, that I can put inside there. And these pieces are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, Lorraine, what are you oh, the Glimmer machines. Is that what you're oh-yaying about? Yes, they're going to disappear pretty quick. We've been getting a lot of phone calls about them. And a lot of new dies and stuff coming out too. Okay, so I can, if I don't want to use all of those right away on, you know, one section, I can do like the Nutcracker Suite here, and maybe the Mouse King on this side, on this pull-up part here, and then fill the rest in. I've already got all my pieces all cut here. I love this paper, you know, so I can just fill in my little pieces. I'm going to ink all the edges on these ones. And I'm doing both sides. And then I've got this really cute little book. If you didn't want to put all printed, you could just, you know, put a square of colored cardstock so that you can add a little picture on there if somebody wants to do that. All right, so that is that section. Now, before you actually... you want to put your spine printed paper on the outside, and then take your crocodile and you want to punch a hole. I want to make sure I'm going the right way. Let's slide that. There we go. And I'm going to punch a hole right there. Now I can just put some string through that. I've got this really nice gold kind of thread, and I can thread it through, and then it can be my ornament to hang. Or I could take a brad, and put a brad in there, or an eyelet in there. Actually, then I should have done that before that. That doesn't want to go, that's not going to go all the way through, it's too thick. So I'm just going to leave it with the hole like that. Or I do have wider, bigger brads, but I think it might be too big. So I might just leave that little hole like that and then just put my string through. Maybe. There we go. And then, as I said, I can hang it from, hold that back up. I can hang it off the tree, or I can hang it on somebody's gift. And the outside, I am just putting ribbon around and tying it closed. So then it can hang, they can open it. If you're just doing it to hang on the tree, you may even want to just do the outside and not have anything on the inside and make it look like little books. You know, that's totally up to you. You've got some options there as to how you want to do it. Are they cut aparts from the 6x8 paper pad? These here I cut from the 8x8 pad. Do I have it here? I used the 8x8 pad for that. And then I just cut my pieces out. In fact, I did the cover off the back cover of the packaging. Here it is. Sorry, just grab it. It's on one of my stacks. So this is the 8x8 I used. And I really would have liked to have Clara on the front, but she's just a little too big. But there are some other pieces in here. And I also have some gingerbread men charms left from when we did Lucy 3. And I can even attach one of them on here. But isn't that the cutest little thing? Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll. Looked for the waffle flower mini mat in the... Oh, I think Dan just put it there. Dan, is that for the mat?
Yeah, that's the second time I posted it.
Okay, Dan has put it...
Make sure you give people keywords.
Yeah, waffle flower is the keyword, is it not?
Waffle.
Waffle. Yeah, if you put in waffle, then that mat should come up. But they're just adorable. And, you know, as I said, I've got a bunch here ready to do. I'm going to cut out my cardstock, do them all, and then just sit, and the rest of my paper pad, I'm going to cut out, you know, more pieces that I can put in and do some up for my tree. And, you know, I was thinking, I never got any nutcracker charms to make nutcracker charms for my glue bottles. We're almost sold out of the dangle charms for your pins for Christmas, as well as the dangle charms for Christmas. So we will be moving on to Valentine's soon. So there will be some with hearts on them, and then we'll do some other, you know, without a specific occasion on them. And then I also have more cooking charms to put together for you guys, and some more Alice charms. Completely sold out of all of them, so we've got more to put together. But this paper pad, yeah, like I said, it's gorgeous, and I had hoped that I could put her on the front, but she's just a little bit too big, and I didn't want to cut her legs off, because that wouldn't have been good. But in here there are some of, and I even thought maybe this piece, but I could fussy cut Clara off of here, and she'll fit on there. It's going to be close with the nutcracker. but I think it would just fit on there. So that's going to be perfect. I can put that on there. You know, I could just cut this piece out. I could cut a couple of the stamps. So there's some nice cutouts in this Nutcracker Suite. And it is Sweet, SWEET. And then here's another little book inside here. So there's lots of pieces that can be fussy cut. Love, love, love the Nutcrackers. This paper's just gorgeous. So I have a whole bunch more I can still cut out of here to make. So I've done 1, 2, probably get around 6 out of one paper pad, and they're $14.49. Used up the scraps of my chipboard, and I'm going to just have a bunch of these little books. Actually, this would do 1, 2, yeah, probably six books easy. I'll be able to do, because they're not going to be this thick. This is so much better. Okay, so any questions at all? Yeah, you could do one for every year, and then, you know, even just put the date down here if you like, or leave this side. Just have a little open section on here, and then just put a note on here, or a little story about this Christmas or whatever, you know, and have it just open up. We've got some nice white gel pens. You could write on the dark cardstock, and then, yeah, they could hang it on the tree and then look back at it. And it would be really cute to put a couple of pictures, you know, of their faces and stuff at Christmas on there. So another idea, another cute idea to work with. But anyway, that's it. It's a pretty easygoing album. So I have to try and figure out what I'm doing next week with you guys. I might. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ricky's got an idea. That scares me. So we'll have to see what he's got up his sleeve. But that's it for me tonight anyway. That's all I have to show you. I have, as I said, one more 49 and Market album on my table here to finish up. And then I'll be moving on to a bunch of other projects. Orchids and Cats, I think, is my next big one. What are you thinking?
So
So
you had mentioned about watercoloring
yeah,
with me,
yeah.
and I think we should do a segment maybe for 4 weeks in a row. If Ricky can do it,
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but it's going to be good for a laugh anyway.
excuse me.
So for the next 4 weeks, he wants to be a guinea pig. So he's going to be our GP, and the theme will be, if Ricky can do it, you can do it. What do you guys think about that? So we're thinking next week then we'll do some art impressions watercoloring. Check out the stamps if you want to get, you know, an idea of what we'll be playing with. I will actually sit with Jan. He will use the Tombow markers, and we'll get him doing it.
No practicing.
No practicing ahead.
So
And
you're gonna see me really do it.
he's going to do it all right.
Get the undo ready.
Get the undo ready for sure. And then the following week, maybe I'll have him do a little mixed media piece. And then the week after, maybe we'll have him do some stenciling. So for the next 4 weeks, leading up to Christmas, then we will, our theme will be, if Ricky can do it. Oh, way to go, Dan. Yeah. That will be good. That will be very interesting. So we like to entertain you, and that's what we'll be doing. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. Have fun making these little itsy bitsy books, and post some pictures of it so we can see it. Go onto the Facebook group and post it. It will sit there for us to approve it, I believe. But we love seeing them, and I know everybody else likes to see you do this stuff as well. So have a good night, stay safe, and keep creating.